Hello everyone, my name is Cassandra Vaynerchuk and I'm here with you today with Cass on the Fly. So I want to say thank you all for joining me. We are here discussing a couple things this morning. The first thing I want to discuss is professionalism. We're just getting right into it because I have a couple things I want to do today and it's energetically exhausting, so let's just get started. Professionalism. What exactly is professionalism? Whether it's on an Instagram account, whether it's in fashion, whether it's in Hollywood, whether it is in an entrepreneur setting such as podcasting. The truth about professionalism at this time is that it does not exist. As soon as you cross the line in sexuality, you take out professionalism. Meaning, when we're watching movies and it's a movie, let's just say Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise. We all know that that movie is based on a true story of what the Illuminati does when you go to Heidi Klum's party. Weird ass shit, right? However, we know that at that time, Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise were professionals. Meaning they're married. However, they are professional in that they don't show up on a red carpet creating sex. At least they weren't very good at it. As Tom is extremely good at keeping things professional and knowing how to separate a marriage from a professional image. It's the standard of care when it comes to this business called Hollywood. However, where we've advanced into today's society is people are now intersecting trash heap relationships of toxicity as their lead of their image, their brand, their business, which is very unprofessional. What they then do is they take their seduction and sexuality and create it as the brand because they have no self-awareness at all. Meaning they have no intention of assisting an audience and advancing themselves in any sort of confidence, any sort of whatever it is. They really care about one thing and one thing only, is for their own self-esteem to be advanced by showing a relationship with a guy that she's abusing, seducing, and using sex as the thing to hold the pieces together. Well, they then take it to the media where they pose erotically with their hands inappropriate, where they smile weird, they look strange, they go to weird parties. And it has really set the tone of the entire platforms, all platforms. And they've done it in a way that's like the domino effect. It all started with Kim Kardashian, and then it just escalated around. And so instead of people being adults about this and making the prostitute look like the prostitute that she is, as she did become famous by having a sex tape with Ray J, they jumped on board because industry, government, and the rest of these fools saw it as opportunity to grow in finances. Because in their minds, everybody wants to look like a duck-billed platypus. Or an ass so big it can barely fit through the door. Which means she's a complete asshole. The more they fueled all of these things, the less professional people became. The more high school everyone became. Instead of having a conversation such as Nicki Minaj and Taylor, as they are, we'll speak to Taylor. We all know that Nicki will call a hoe out on the stage as she's done with Miley Cyrus. In this particular instant, she did something behind the scenes. And so instead of Taylor going up to Nicki and saying, "What the fuck?" She goes onto the stage while she's accepting her award because she's feeling like a goddess because she's performing in front of millions of people, and she's not doing a good job, by the way. But you can even see it in her personality, that there's a shift in her, in a devil force. She's like turning into the devil. Working with the Democrats with the red lights and such. People are having amnesia. She adds more dates, which then sets a precedence for the music industry. It's completely unprofessional. What Taylor's up to is up to Taylor. And because everyone's trying to put their eyes on her, and I'm talking in the upper leagues, it makes her have more power. So how do you fight fire with fire? You produce better shit than her. Because all of her shit is nothing more than a downplay of poor me. What Taylor does then is she says, oh, there's my Sagittarius, basically telling Nicki Minaj she's an instigator of some drama bullshit. Instead of hashing it out behind the scenes, which now puts everyone in the audience in a place of curiosity, once again fueling career, fueling clout, fueling personal brand. So your personal brand is y'all are a bunch of assholes. You want to understand that they don't take responsibility in their roles as leaders. Meaning you're in politics if you're in Hollywood. You're in politics if you're a celebrity because you have a responsibility to keep people in alignment. What does that mean? That means you teach people how to treat each other by treating each other in the industry with professionalism, whether you like them or not. This is professionalism. Talking direct, talking straight, and having conversations. That's professionalism. What I say to Mona Van, I'd say to her fucking face. Professionalism. Mona Van walking into a coffee shop, harboring a forced relationship, while she then goes into the coffee shop called Nuts, while she utilizes an innocent victim that thinks she's getting more clout for her coffee shop. See, the girl at the coffee shop thinks that that's a positive thing, but you want to understand that Mona is using her to get to me. That's unprofessional. That's the realities of what these non-professional individuals are up to. And it goes on and on and on. It's never based on the audience and how you want to assist them. It's always based on how you're going to fuel your image or your brand. And they do not care if it's in a negative or a positive. And it's always in a negative. Even when they're portraying it as a positive, it's always in a negative. And you all as community are following, and you're doing it in your lives as well. It's like saying, great job for your shitty job. You did a really shitty job, but I'm going to say great job because I don't want to be bothered with your attitude, which makes you a bad leader. But look at how much money we made. So ethics, morals, and values don't matter to the Kardashian clan. Only likes and follows do, which means that the world is ending. Because this is only an escalating scale of where we're headed, because money can only take these people to so much depth of height, and eventually this clout chasing they'll be numb to that too, and so they're going to need to find something else to fuel their desires, their seduction, whatever it is. I'm not sure how many more fancy outfits with bolder titties that you're going to need to wear to make yourself feel something. Moving on, all these same people, including Christians and whatever, blame God for everything. Blame God for the bad shit. Blame God for the good shit. Blame God instead of taking responsibility upon themselves. You blame God for everything. However, there are people out there that are devil worshipers proclaiming to be lovers of God, who don't have an ounce of love inside them. They actually protrude fear and disgust and self-righteousness called King James the Bible. A human wrote that. But you all just decided because the historical attachment to the book makes it right. However, you go to church on Sunday, you blame God for everything, and then you go back out into the world, keep blaming God, and never take responsibility for your attitudes towards other people. Nor do you get curious about evolving yourself into something of a better version of yourself. So then you tap into a man, tap into a trashy slut female, and you decide that that is the route that you want to go on to fulfill your desires, which is money, clout, and fame. Where you then take it to the platform now where millions of people can see, you teach them absolutely nothing, and then you blame God when it doesn't work out. You do want to realize that these folks have retrained the brains of the youth, of each other, and now the adults too, where we have women on platforms going live claiming that she wasn't brought here. If you weren't brought here, then we'll send your ass back to Africa. You lazy ass trash heap. See, none of y'all have any ounce of love inside you, although you say, I love you. Oh my God, I love you. That's not love. Not to mention you have no love for yourself, and if you have no love for yourself, you only have lust. You don't have any love for anyone else. We always have external choices, meaning looking outward, making choices as we move along in our journey, attached and associated to God's will. Which way are the tides going to roll? Those kismet meetings, there used to be kismet encounters of accidental meetings, and then you get to choose. You get to choose whether you go down that path or are you going to steer off. Men always choose the prostitute. They always choose the devil. They always choose lust. At least that's the painting of the narrative that the female wants you to think. That's how demonic these women have become and have always been. Because they want what they want, and it's usually the dick. The dick brings power. The dick brings filling up their personal righteousness, their egotistical behavior. And they think they have the power because that when the man looks at them, they see what? Titties and ass? That's the new norm. Or do they see motherhood? Family, love, joy. 9 times out of 10, these folks in their 20s and 30s are seeing nothing more than sex. That is all. They even have I hate children parties on their platforms. 29-year-old woman says, I'm so glad I don't have kids. I hate kids. And a man's going to choose that because she has a large following of clout. That's the Obama administration taught her those things. See, most of these people don't actually care about politics or poor people. They only care about their careers, and they know with the Biden administration in office that they can pretty much do whatever the fuck they want, including be on OnlyFans. Be on OnlyFans. That's your dream, your goal. Showing off your titties and your private parts and your feet so that men can masturbate to your body. And that's what turns you on sexually. However, you don't actually see what the guy looks like on the other side. So not only they're creating perversion in mass quantities, they are disconnecting relationships of those perverts. Then they're filming it. Then they're taking the money, going to parties where they do cocaine and alcohol, and then they're trying to hook up with other married men in real life because they look a certain way. And that's what my generation is up to when dealing with 20s and 30s. No professionalism. That's not professional. Even if you're a freaking prostitute on a prostitute platform like OnlyFans, there's a form of professionalism. Do you understand that? You don't understand that because that's how psychotic you are. We have external choices as we move through our lives. We have internal choices to decide how we feel. However, the infiltration of the ability of these people to use their clout as a form of a weapon, which the government is assisting, to mind guide people into believing certain things, meaning we're losing our opportunity for choice. We're being told and fed in subliminal messages through red lights that we see on Taylor Swift concert tours. Meaning they're taking God out. They're taking God out of everything, of source, and recreating what love looks like to be lust. And the demon fools who are fueling it because they want money, private jets, and a fancy yacht. Where they then have fancy parties where they then do nothing more than sit in the lower deck and get fucked and do cocaine. Well, they post party pictures on the platforms as if they're cool, but I'm not sure who actually thinks that's cool. See, that's the perspective, distinguishing perspective that needs to shift, because people don't actually think it's cool. Like, majority of people are looking at that going, that's really not cool. However, in their mind, they've painted the narrative that it is cool. It's not cool. Then they're convincing you that it's cool. It's been an evolutionary period of process, right? We have external and we have ourselves. So you have God with you. You have God's will. He gives you the ability to have kismet relationships as you move through your time. Then you have internal decisions, which are external results, where you then have external battles with people who are demons and ill-behaved. That's how you create self-awareness. That's how to thine own self be true. That's how you distinguish ethics, morals, and values. And you have choices whether you decide to use God's assistance to learn the lessons and stay the course of love, or you stay in fear. Fear is disguised as love, which is money, power, and clout. However, they don't have anything to show for themselves. Except for fancy photos at fancy parties where everyone forgets about it in 2 days. So then they have to drum up more shit to hurt someone to fuel up themselves. Like rubbing vegetables. Like fucking kidding me, right? Not willing to evolve, that's how you know. I would say girls in their 20s and their 30s are fucking clueless. They care about nothing, not even if they have children. They're literally telling you who they are on the platforms, and you're looking at it in a way of like, you think in your mind you're teetering a line of ethics, but you're literally off the map. You're literally off the mat. It's representative in what we're dealing with in politicals. They are telling us, and it's true, that we are having money laundering by our President of the United States of America. Whose money do you think he's taking? Whose money is he taking? He's taking your money. He's doing deals with the devil, such as Iran. Why is he just now giving billions of dollars for people that have been held captive? Why are you in jail? Why are you getting out? What are the real facts on why these people were in jail? Why are you giving them billions for these people? What's the conversation between Iran and the United States of America? What is this money launderer doing? Why is it Iran, coincidentally, when we're dealing with a Persian? Are there even real prisoners in Iran? Or are they just painting a narrative to occur like a hero? Because all I can see is Joe Biden lying on the beach with his feet up in a lawn chair, while the world's falling apart and migrants are being blasted with World War II messages to mind manipulate them into behaving. Well, I'm sorry, but if you're living in a tent house and you were promised housing, food, and shelter, they got some angry ass people. The second thing you migrants want to take a look at is you made the choice to come here. You all heard through the grapevine that this shit wasn't normal, that shit here wasn't doing so good, yet you decided to choose to come here. You chose it. So you need to accept that you chose it, and you need to leave Americans alone. You need to start making and taking initiative, because the American way isn't a free handout, which is what the millennial Gen Zs are trying to tell you. No, America is hard work. We are hard-working Americans. Do you get that? So when you take a look at Mona Van's platform, who's a princess Persian, that ain't hard work. That's called I lay around all day and gossip with my coworkers, which are my friends. And we figure out ways to manipulate an audience while I post 3 posts maybe every other day. While I show you old pictures, because all I do is spend 3 hours at lunch. It's 2 hours for breakfast, and then I go to work where I just lovingly myself in the mirror where I sit in front of a red light, okay, and then I sit there and pretend to meditate. Oh. And then I look at people's platforms and get new ideas of what I'm going to create for my clean eating. And then I show you herbs and vegetables that somebody else chopped. And then I go to lunch for 3 hours, and then I take a 5 o'clock bath. And that's your life. Wow, wow, wow. And just to let you know, everything on her platform is completely unprofessional, and anyone who's mirroring or modeling it, unprofessional, which means Kim Kardashian's unprofessional, Kristen Cavallari's unprofessional. They do not understand business. They're faking it, and you all are agreeing to the fake. Meaning every time you have one of these hoes on your platform, you're agreeing to their lack of, which gives them the more validation to continue to be producing and messing with the minds of the masses, which then gives them, the masses, the opportunity to mirror and mimic them, because if she can get with you, then that's what I have to do to get with you and to get on your podcast. That's how it works. I don't know, I think that's it. I gotta stop here because it took 24 hours yesterday for yesterday's podcast to download. 24 hours, y'all. It just got posted this morning. So that's on YouTube. YouTube is working with the Democrats to slow down my content because they know it's effective for you in educating you on your advancement. So you could blame the devil. People have choices. They make the choice of whether they're going to do right or they're going to do wrong. Wrong is hurting other people. Wrong is selfishness. There's a difference between selfishness and doing for yourself. Selfishness has an intention to get something from someone else. Doing it for yourself is protection. It's called defense. It's called learning. It's called, I know there's a bigger plan here. This might be a lesson. It feels right. I feel like I should do it. But most people are operating on the selfish plane. And that's just boring. And that causes the pain of this nation across the globe, of what we're experiencing. Meaning I have to sit there and watch in podcasting this dude who then brings wild animal women wearing booby shirts, and then they sit there and talk nonsense. And that's it. I don't know. That's where we're at, y'all. It's like sickening to watch you all talk shit about babies and kids. It's sickening to watch y'all. And it's sickening to watch the men that will take these women home. It's one thing to pump and dump them. What does that mean? Pump, screw them with a condom on, and then say, goodbye, slut. But y'all be hosting these bitches as if they up to something. Because then you put them on your podcast as if the audience really wants to see that. That's on you, though, because you're the leader with the following. You teaching an audience how to misbehave as if it's normal. And then the intelligent individuals you leave in the dust because they're too intelligent. They got too much to say to call out the hoes who you actually scared of. Because what they do is they get in little clusters of wasp nests, and then they will destroy you, at least attempt to. And that's how naive the audience peasants are in the sheep form as they proclaim they want to be a family. I want a family. Well, the reason why you ain't got no boyfriend, the reason why you ain't got no kids is because of Mona Van. It's because of Kim Kardashian. So we can place blame where blame belongs. That's called the devil. That's called mind manipulation. That's called teaching an audience how to behave. And that's where society is at this time, which is a non-existent form of ethics, morals, and values. And that's it. Thank you for watching me. With me and a little bit of you, we're going to change the internet whether they like it or not.